Hello folks, GWT here. I should say a hell of a lot more about raciality versus rationality. I could really say a lot about it, but I swear some of you are good damn people, but for some reason you got a thing against another race, another color, another accent on the voice. See, I think Germans have a cool accent, Swiss. I think other people have cool accents. Now, some of them I can't understand it and would hate to ever be forced to try to learn it. I don't even know Indian language. That should be the most sought out thing with me, because I have a little Indian blood in me, which dominates my spirit sometimes. But I just want to tell you that raciality, that is such bullshit when folks, the black and the white and the brown and the Oriental people, the yellow people, whatever, all of you have one thing in common that you can't disagree on, and that is the government and all of the enforcement divisions and departments. If you're a civil person, they are still your enemies. They will collect you up in the crowds later on, and you better remember, I told you so. You will be collected up in the crowds, or you'll be stopped at gates. You'll be walled up, some of you in cities, because you just happen to live in the wrong neighborhood, on the wrong block that was going to be done away with when they capture the strongholds. They're using the HARP machine to create storms, to disable people. They go in your homes and disarm you and wreck your place. Some of you are going to be killed when you try to go back to your homes. You're going to be captured. They're going to know from your homes who everyone is. They're going to wait for you. You're going to be 100% identified, and everything about you will be known. If you leave a candle burning, that might be known. You leave a shotgun in your closet with shells in both sides, that might be known. Of course, it won't be there, but you could go to jail for it. It wasn't registered. We're locking you up. And then people say, oh no, you ain't got no way to protect yourself from them, much less a way to be offensive. And I'm telling you right now, folks, this is GWT and the Wes Truther channel telling the whole daggone world, until you get physically aggressive with the sons of bitches and the MFers who has got you dogged down, you are just going to be dogged down even more and more and more. It will never turn around for you, and you will be put in a position to where you will be defenseless. Hey folks, GWT, and there's another thing here. You think about too, there's animal abuse. When PETA and others are mentioned, most of the time in videos, most will say, I don't want to think about that. Well folks, that's sad sacks right there. You didn't make anything go away. You didn't change nothing. Nor even one other person, how they thought and how they felt about something. You actually destroyed more of your own human self. Your own human spirit of consciousness. Even unto your seed. Your way of thinking will help pattern your seed. You don't have claws, you don't have fangs, you don't have fur, you don't live on the earth. Barefoot is all you got. When you walk around barefooted, that's the only part of you that lives on the earth. All of these other creatures out here that lives on the earth, that's not necessary for you to be doing anything to. What do you want to harm them for? The earth belongs to them. The earth don't belong to you. You don't live on it. Hello folks, GWT. You mentioned PETA. You mentioned the abuse. Knowledge takes good people out of their comfort zones. That's why what's going on with the animals and the species of life, I mentioned in a previous video. Over 200,000 species of life have gone extinct since they've been keeping records, folks. Man is doing that. The earth ain't doing it. Man is changing the earth and using all kinds of war methods that they're using on humans right now. Just like cops. They stand between us and freedom. They stand between us and security. They stand between us and justice. Look at this Clinton. Look at these Bushes. Look at these Rumsfelds, Cheneys. Look at these people and what they do. Look at Monsanto. They blew up a whole fertilizer plant because that fertilizer plant was a organic fertilizer plant and had a lawsuit against Monsanto, was collecting evidence on Monsanto, on GMO foods and fertilizers. They killed them all. They blew a big place up out there in Texas. Filmed from 2 different sides. I have it all. I have a bunch of it. I have pictures of the plasma cannon strikes coming in, blowing that fertilizer plant up. Hey folks, GWT here. I'm going to recap that last one. I got strangled. Excuse me. First of all, PETA is a type of knowledge that takes good people out of their comfort zones, and folks, that's really bad. You're dehumanizing yourself when you don't care about what is done to other living things. It's just like cops. They stand between us and freedom. They stand between us and security. They stand between us and justice. Look at the Bushes and the Clintons and all of that. This ain't the same video, folks. It's a different one. They protect the world's enforcers and corral up human beings for disposal because of their resistance, and others, they round them up for profit, and this will become abundantly clear to you right in your face and in your life, and this will become your turn also. At some point in time, the same stuff's going to happen to you. If you want to hide behind the Bible and say God's going to make everything right, well, I'm here to tell you right now, you're going to live until you die. And then whoever you left, they're going to live until they die. And that bullshit that you think is going to make everything right later on and you don't need to do it now, that's exactly what it is. It's bullshit. And 10 generations under you is going to still be doing the same thing you are right now. They can't keep up with the prophecies in the Bible. They've fallen behind. People are catching on to their tectonic weapons, so if they started really doing they're doing the hurricanes, the tornadoes, everything. They're controlling all the weather across the earth right now. But let's say something just blanketed a whole entire continent and killed about 3/4 or 4 or 9/10 of the life on that continent. It's still them doing it, but that's a really God step. They ain't got that kind of power, folks. They have gotten to the point that people know enough about their weapons and their advancements in technology and their trickiness, their genocides, their chemtrails, their electromagnetic frequencies, that if they do something big like that, even the dumbest of the sheeple are going to know something ain't right. But the point is, you folks need to realize something that the preachers ain't telling you and never told you in your whole life. They're hitting me so hard with the frequencies right now, the whole top of my head feels like it's in excruciating pain. It's bad. But anyway, these preachers in these churches should be telling you right now. They should be telling you that if you don't stand up and do something, nothing's going to change. But see, they're making money off you. They're living off you, and they're working for the government. They made deals with the government a long time ago, folks. That's why churches ain't taxed. There's things that my father-in-law told me, the forbidden scriptures. They are trained in seminaries, colleges, and schools, what not to talk about and what not to explain and what not to allow to be explained by someone who has realized, someone who figured it out, or someone who researched deeper and found it out, just like that series that I put on. That is one of the hard-hittingest things to all of humanity in America, is my series on that Ring of Power done by Amen Stop Productions. That is one of the most serious things that Americans could be told anywhere, and YouTube blocked my channel for 2 weeks to cover the content up. They probably haven't quite made up their mind how they're going to put a stop to me altogether and completely. But I got stuff coming in from all directions on me, folks, to block what I'm trying to bring to y'all. Not to convince you, but to put it in your brain pan and let you make up your own mind about it. But you've got to look at everything first. And the things that you refuse to look at, that's on you. That's taking you out of your comfort zone, just like all of the abuse going on to the life of earth and humans. You're not even taken by all of the humans being done the way they are. So naturally you're not going to consider any animals or insects or anything else. Trees, clean water. You're not going to consider anything but your own self, but your number's coming up. And those of you who fail to do anything, to try anything, even if it's wrong, you deserve what's coming to you. And I'm happy that you're going to get it. Hey folks, GWT. I just want to recap one thing. The ones that stand between us and the ones that's doing all the damage to humanity and to the life of earth, they protect the world's enforcers. They corral up humans for disposal, for profit. This is going to be in your face abundantly, and by the time those hard heads among you, by the time it's in your face, by the time your turn comes up, it's going to be too easy for them to take control of you completely, physically, because after you're broke and you're disarmed and you're alone, you are easy pickings, you're easy prey. The only reason they won't take you up and scoop you up quick is because they just ain't got you in a position where they can cover their acts up. They can cover their dirty, murderous conspiracy deals up. Couriers should be informing all the area churches where to meet and band together if the government comes in to disarm, like they're doing with these storms. When the storms come in and they start predicting all of this mass stuff, you people in the churches ought to be connecting with the churches throughout your county, maybe even throughout your state. Y'all need to communicate with each other, because all them people you're living off of right now, they're going to be the ones, you're not going to have them anymore. Have you got enough to live out? Is your deal good enough that you're not going to be touched there? You son of a bitch preachers. You lying bastards. You claim that you're religious, you're Christians, you believe in God. You're a bunch of lying hypocrites. And that Charles Lawson, you're one right in the middle of the whole pack. I got people commenting saying you never said nothing about the flat earth. You mentioned it quite a few times. You mentioned that you're not going to rule nothing out. You mentioned I'm not saying one way or the other, but I ain't ruling anything out. And then the government comes in and puts a little stranglehold on you, Charles Lawson, and what do? You say, oh, you put out a show, made up my mind. Well, now I know I live on a globe, and I know NASA's all right, and we don't live on no flat earth. I don't want to hear any more about it. Chicken shit. You don't believe in God either. You ain't nothing but a punk.